Who do you want to start with other than Ironclad? Because I just did an Ironclad run.
Um, yeah, let's do Silent. It's my favorite class.
All right.
And are you gonna share your screen with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome.
Have you played Ascension 20 at all?
No, I haven't. I've seen 7 runs of Ascension 20, which were the 7 runs you've played with people this week.
Are you serious? All right, this is
Yeah,
gonna be sweet then.
sure.
Um, I feel like I've gone back in time. So we're gonna like set up the Shiv 1000 cuts Noxious Fumes deck. That's good at Ascension 15.
Is it? See, I thought this would be interesting. I think it might make for an interesting change of pace. Having somebody who's never played this difficulty, because it's going to give you an opportunity to sort of talk about the game maybe in different ways than just sort of two experts sort of discussing more nuanced discussions. Where here you're going to actually have to probably cover some broader strokes.
Yeah, that'll be good. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that you're gonna have relevant insight as well, despite not having played Ascension 20, because I think you are very good at this game.
Thank you, sir.
Um, so for elites at Ascension 20 with Silent,
Yeah.
you die to Lagavulin, like, if you get to an elite fight without 2 upgrades usually, like you sort of need a neutralize upgrade and a damage card upgrade, or you need some sort of good potion.
Right.
But if you get enough damage to kill Gremlin Knob, which like can happen, you're pretty good against Gremlin Knob and sentries. So a lot of silent runs I feel like end up being decided in Act 1 when you go into your first elite and try not to take 60 damage, but sometimes do.
Right.
In this act, we can go like campfire, campfire, store, elite, and get only 1 elite. And there isn't really a much better path. It's not realistic to survive this path. We will just die.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have low relics leaving Act 1, because ideally, I mean, I would love to kill 3 elites in Act 1. I think relics are very important to one of the ways that Silent wins.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
I, I think so. I think when it comes to A20, I think what I already know is what the winning decks look like, because back when I was playing A15, you would get the decks where I'm like, this deck could go up 5 difficulty levels and I'd still be winning the game.
right.
The I think the learning curve for me would be figuring out how like the way to get to that point without dying. And when it was silent to do strong stuff, you either had to get relics or powers or catalyst. Mostly those are usually the 3 ways to win.
I think even more generally than that, I think Silent only has one and a half sufficient ways to block. You get tons of dexterity and dodge and rolls, basically, or you get Wraithform and Nightmare with a way to put those together.
Right.
And so you can win those runs with any sort of damage, really. You can make a deck that can block long enough for like Flechettes to be enough damage, or Noxious Fumes plus 1000 cuts is enough damage, or whatever else you want to do is enough damage. Like you can do tons of powers, or you can have a skewer plus and an ice cream or something. Or the only way that I've ever found for Silent to win without being able to block is the Catalyst combo poison kills.
Right. Yeah. I've at times had like fringe physical damage winning decks that could just like I had one really cool run where I had like a ninja, the 3 shivs at the start of each fight, and 4 finishers in the deck, and like I killed Time Eater on turn 3 with physical damage. It was pretty sick. But let me ask you. So they nerfed, because there's a few other ways that Silent that used to be able to defend, namely Kunai and Paper Crane. Are those still both relevant outs to having enough defense to beat the game?
Yeah. Yeah, if
Okay.
you have Kunai, you don't need as many footworks. If you have Paper Crane, you don't need as many footworks. Paper Crane's worth like 1.5 footworks, and Kunai is worth, well, potentially all of them, depending on how many shivs and cloak and daggers you have.
And we both know that 15 HP is equal to 1 footwork as well.
I think I remember that, yeah. I would say that at Ascension 20, max HP is a lot less relevant for Silent than for other classes because you're so binary. The ways that you have to block, like, there's no Silent damage package that kills on turn 5 or 6 or something. There are lots of Ironclad runs where you kill on turn 5 or 6 with your damage, and so being able to block like half the attacks matters. But Silent sort of kills on turn 3 with Catalyst or turn like 10 with anything else. And so Silent doesn't win runs where you take 10 damage per turn. Silent only wins runs where like it doesn't block at all and combos off, or it takes no damage per turn. So I don't think max HP is as important on Silent as it is on the other classes.
Sure. And I honestly, I still question that evaluation from A15, because you came into my chat room and you were like, 15 HP is equal to a footwork. And as like a strategy nerd, like you probably left that and just sort of moved on with your life. But as a guy who's just really into strategy games, when one of the best players comes into my chat and says something I don't understand at all, I like spent the entire week thinking about it. I'm like, how could it possibly be 15 HP?
Well, it's got to be some amount of HP, but it's a really bad comparison, right? They're not comparable resources.
They're not
super
comparable.
Well.
They are kind of, and I do think that there is a comparison you could make, but I think that the number of HP is closer to 25 or 30 at A15.
Okay.
Anyways.
Common relic, random rare relic. How much do you like transforming cards?
I really like it on Silent. Once they buffed all of Silence, or most of Silence bad cards, I used to think transforming is one of the better things you can do.
I don't think it's as good as a relic though, right?
No, I don't either. But I definitely think it's better than all of the worst starting bonuses.
And with no guarantee of getting a store until after halfway through the act, and a desire to remove strikes probably by then anyway, I think we just take the common relic. I don't think the rare relics are that much better than the common relics. I think they're a little bit better.
Yeah, there's just more variance on the rare relics, right? Because there's a few that just instantly win you the game, and then there's ones that do very little.
Yeah.
Whereas common relic is generally pretty good. So it's interesting because like one of my first instincts on going to a difficulty where win rates drop to such a low number would be to start taking higher variance plays.
I'm gonna bring up paint.
Sure.
Because that's like such a good point, and I want to respond to it properly.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Let's see. Is this working?
And I'm totally cool if we don't get through 3 runs. If you want to just like be really nerdy about stuff and just overanalyze one run or whatever for 4 hours.
I've got all day, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like disagree with what you just said about variance, but I want to illustrate it for people. So
sure.
if like this is the end of Act 3, this is the end of Act 2, this is the end of Act 1. Oh, I need to fix that so that it's actually capturing the entire thing. Say at Ascension 15, you need to be like this strong, and at Ascension 20, you need to be this strong. And otherwise, you're dead. And obviously, these aren't perfectly straight lines or whatever, but I'm abstracting to make this simpler.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the time when I have different opinions about the game than somebody else who's good at the game, and there are times when I have considerably different opinions, a lot of the time their strategy, like, let's say we're talking about Ascension 15 for a bit, a lot of the time their strategy is like a different level of variance from mine. So for example, my level of strategy might look like it's, let's use a different color actually. My strategy might look like this on any given run. So as the run goes on, my strength is somewhere in there, which means that sometimes I'm dropping below the required strength and dying, but a lot of the time I'm significantly stronger than I need to be. Whereas their strategy might look like this.
Oof.
Where
They're winning.
well,
This is
say that they're winning the same amount. This is for the blue one, right?
Okay, I thought that was for green. I'm like,
No. So they're actually only losing the same number of runs, but they're playing
yeah.
like a lower variance strategy where it's more put together.
Right. And so
I think this about how I play differently from Celerity a lot. I think Celerity has much less ups and downs in the ways that the decks get built that he builds compared to what I'm going for. I'm not 100% on that. It's hard to characterize how other people play because they're not me.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a good point, how variance isn't inherently the numeric, because like choosing a higher variance strategy doesn't necessarily yield a higher win rate.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because if you can, like, you know, win, if you take the common relic and you win 50% of the time, or you take the rare relic and you win 90% of the time, you get a bomb relic, and 10% of the time you get a bad relic. It's the same win rate.
Yep.
But I still would be curious overall. I would think just trying to do broken stuff and get degenerate things like broken rare relics starts to become more appealing.
Yeah, it depends a lot on how successfully you can win a more normal run. And I feel like I can win normal silent runs at Ascension 20.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that is the thing.
None of these are claw, so I assume you don't have a strong opinion.
So that wasn't the joke, by the way. The joke was that you hated claw more than I hated boot, and it was which one of us hated it what more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then one day I came into chat and I said the boot sucks, and you said yeah, it does suck, and the joke ended. So that's that. Okay.
I've never loved Sucker Punch early.
No, I Sucker Punch is one of the cards that, like, I thought was very good, and like over time just started ending up in Act 3 with an unupgraded Sucker Punch and just wondering why I took it.
Yeah. I don't know about Flechettes though. We do have a Centennial Puzzle and a 7-card starting hand.
Yeah. I mean, we got to start trying to do something strong. Flechettes is also in the category of cards that ended up much lower rated than I thought. Like, Flechettes is way lower rated to me than Finisher, because I found that once you took Flechettes, you started having to build your deck in weaker ways to make the Flechettes good.
Unless you get offered well-laid plans, in which case you're just golden.
Right. But even then, you still have this like weird pressure to try and put a lot of skills in your deck and not put attacks in. And you only have one Flechettes in your deck, so like if you build a deck that's good for Flechettes, the payoff isn't really there until you get like a second one.
And you get to play turns like this, which are just very depressing.
Yeah, this... I have been, like, definitely, like... I feel like a20 is something that very quickly teaches you that it's no joke. Seems like a good difficulty level.
Poison Stab is a card that I really like. I can hear myself echoing a little bit through your speakers.
Sure, I'll try.
I'm not sure if chat can hear that or not.
Can any... Yeah. Alright, I turned the volume down a little bit. I can go find headphones if I need to, but...
Oh wait. I'll let you know if it comes up again. It's still sort of there.
Okay,
Yes, they can hear it. Yeah, headphones might need to happen.
Okay, shoot. Alright, it'll probably take me like 5 minutes to find one though, a pair though. I can do it.
I could play break music, like elevator music or something.
Yeah, if you're down for that, I can go find some headphones, because I don't own any, but I'm living with my parents and they surely own some somewhere, so.
Oh wait, give me the end of this fight and then I'll just chat with people.
Sure. I managed to stream for 3 months without headphones. I think that's pretty impressive.
Dolphin never uses headphones.
Yeah, it seems like chat can't hear any echo, but I know how annoying it would be to hear echo on for you, so I'll go find some headphones.
Okay. So Fumes is like definitely less good on Ascension 20 because Fumes goes in like damage packages which sort of aim for turn 6 or something, and they just don't get there here. But it's incredible against Slime Boss. It's so good.
Oh yeah, if we're against Slime Boss, definitely take it. So let's say we're not against Slime Boss. Let's say we're against.
I would still take it. I'd take it everywhere.
You take it over these cards no matter which boss you're up against?
Yeah, I mean we're putting more damage in the deck right now, and I think Fumes is better damage than Poison Stab. I'm not saying that it's worse than Poison Stab, I'm just saying it's not as good as it is on like Ascension 15, or especially on non-Ascension where it can just be all of your damage.
Sure. If we didn't have the first Poison Stab, still not close?
What would we have?
Just remove the card.
Just remove the Poison Stab?
Basic deck plus with jets, yeah.
Our deck would be really bad if we didn't have the Poison Stab. I don't know. I would be panicking.
Okay, so I'm gonna go scramble, find some headphones. You distract people, and I'll be back.
Alright, cool. Am I aware that the white balance isn't calibrated? So I have my camera on manual white balance. Oh, I have to mute Electrobolt because I'm still hearing me. That'll be interesting to work out that Electrobolt has come back now that I've muted his microphone. I had to manually set my white balance on my camera this morning. It was a lot of work. Tell you a story. Which story would you like? I know at least 3. I, of course, have things to do too. It's so weird being a streamer. You're just like plugged into a computer and then like people can watch what you're doing. Checking in on donations again. Undead Executor, thanks for the $25 for the International Medical Corps. Anonymous with 2 donations, which is pretty weird. Why didn't you just make just the 1 donation? Wouldn't that have been easier? Anonymous, if you're out there. Anonymous with the $50 donation and the $25 donation. Anonymous says less than 3, which is not true. Both of those are significantly more than 3. And Dragon, thanks so much for the $100 for the charity. Really appreciate all the love, everybody. All of the support. We're at $1,965 raised on CrowdRise, which is incredible. I think with the proceeds from the stream for the last few days that I'm sending along as well, we're already over $3,000. If we could break $5,000 for this week, that would be a thing I told people for like the rest of my life. So that'd be incredible. Keep it up, everybody. I'm just always blown away by the community's support anytime I do something like this. Do I plug straight into my computer? Well, now I do. Now I have like the headset thing. You know? Can I stream in VR? Hold on. Oh yeah, there you are. Oh. Wow. I was not expecting you all to look so handsome today. Hey, Dolphin. This is crazy. And, like, you guys don't even, like, realize that anybody can put on their VR headset and just see you, right? That's probably not something that you knew. It's like I'm in a giant mosh pit of Twitch chat right now. This is great. That's paying for the VR headset by itself, honestly. And you looked great, Donovan Shepard. Hey, Karayu. Will we see some VR chat adventures in the future? Maybe? I haven't tried VR chat yet. I've just been playing Beat Saber. I bought it just as a way to, like, be active. I used to really like playing Guitar Hero, and Beat Saber seemed like a way to get moving while playing a game that I was pretty much certain that I'd enjoy. So, alright, Electrobolt seems to be back. Sorry, I turned you down because I was still echoing. I've turned you up now.
Cool.
Hello!
Yep. Hey, found some headphones.
Nice.
I guess everybody missed my joke about being naked.
Oh, well, that's okay. I asked Electrobolt whether we were doing webcam or not, and was told no. I guess, I don't know. Now that you're not streaming, you just can't afford clothes anymore? Just no clothes?
It's no longer a mandatory expense, the way I like to look at it.
That's fair. Which damage upgrade do you think is better here? Poison stab, fumes, flechettes.
I can't imagine wanting to play fumes in a deck and not upgrading it.
Yeah. I think it happens more at Ascension 20 because you support it with more poison stuff.
Right.
Which makes the upgrade a little bit less impactful, but it's still a very good upgrade.
Yeah, that sounds like a math question. That would take some actually looking at. Like, do you get more by upgrading another poison card or fumes?
Yeah. Depends how thick your deck is a lot.
Ooh.
I suppose.
How thick your deck is. The thicker being the more valuable to upgrade fumes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you draw the poison card less often.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I think I know definitively that I would upgrade a Crippling Cloud over fumes.
So Glass Knife, card remove, Lantern doesn't work. We don't have enough money. I think those, well, okay. So Caltrops is really good because of Book of Stabbing, largely.
Right, that seems to be the new thing.
Book of Stabbing has been nerfed, so it's not as big a thing anymore. But it's a pretty relevant thing still. And Caltrops is a mediocre card, which is the best card in the game in that fight. Like, pretty much.
How viable is it to end up with a deck in Zone 2 that can't beat the Book of Stabbing and just avoid elites?
I don't like it very much. Events just got nerfed in Act 2 pretty hard. Apparition went from 5 to 3, which was like the best event in the game and is now an okay event.
Right, I saw that. Yeah, it seems like a very, very specific event now.
Yeah, so that brings down the value of events a lot.
Right, there's also that double knob fight that got added that looks like it seems to be a rich gets richer situation where if your deck's good enough to beat the 2 knobs, you get a reward, but if your deck's good enough to beat the 2 knobs, you're doing pretty good.
Often you're not doing well enough on Ascension 20 to win the run, even if you can beat the 2 knobs. Well, the thing is, you need to have a deck which is good at front-loaded damage to do that, but it's very difficult to transition from doing enough front-loaded damage to blocking enough to beat the Act 3 bosses on Ascension 20. That's not a given.
Right.
And so yeah.
That's like always what elite fights was a way to translate front-loaded damage into getting strong enough to beat bosses later on. I mean, with like a little bit of exception of the Gremlin Leader.
Yeah, front-loaded damage and health, I would say, as well.
Yeah. So it was like, because that was like sort of a thing, was like if I ended up with a deck that was really good at fighting bosses, I would try and avoid Zone 2 elites. And if I ended up with a deck that was really good at front-loading damage, I would fight elites to try and get good enough to beat bosses.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah, it kind of sounds like where the knob event falls in. Is that I've only seen that event once, because like I said, I've only seen 7 A20 runs, and you guys just got demolished. And how do you beat that fight?
I have actually taken it like 75% of the time and win almost all the time that I take it.
Cool. So I'll just have to see what that looks like at some point, because it looks like a really tough fight for the start of Act 2.
Yeah, I think we buy Glass Knife and upgrade it. I think it's a good enough card.
Sure. Are we worried at all? Like on A15, I'd be worried that we're buying too many attacks.
Well,
like,
we also
so
remove a strike, and then we remove
yeah.
another strike at the next store.
Okay, yeah, so...
With Korea.
This is something like that I was working on right before I stopped playing, was like realizing that the value of removal is like different in different decks. And this deck looks like the value of removal is really high.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Cool.
Whereas a deck... So if the deck had like 2 more powers right now, for example, the value of removal wouldn't be quite as high. If the deck had... Yeah. It does have a Centennial puzzle, which I think lessens the value of removal a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like we should expand that point, though, and say, like, which sort of deck really wants to remove and which sort of deck doesn't care as much.
Well, so one of the things would just be that you've added sort of an even number of defensive and offensive cards to the deck, is usually something where the value of removal isn't as high.
Right, but this deck has added only offensive cards, so getting rid of strikes is very important to bring that balance back.
Yep, and it also, something that was also relevant was like, there would be situations where your deck wasn't doing anything strong, and removing a strike wasn't going to improve your deck because thinning the deck didn't help you, and you needed to save your gold to try and find something strong to do, was something that would come up.
Although I've found that, like, on floor 1, card removing with defect is really good, even though your deck isn't really doing anything that great yet, because your commons are so good. Like, your Ball Lightning pickup is so ridiculous there.
And removal's always been higher on defect just because you start with a lower ratio of defensive cards to offensive with Zap and Static Discharge in your starter deck.
Dual cast. Yeah.
Oh, I said Static, yeah. So yeah, I look at a deck like this and I just want to get the strikes out. But we're still also... We're not doing anything strong enough to beat bosses, but we're looking good at fighting elites in Zone 2 with the Glass Knife and...
Yeah, we're very bad at blocking right now, which is just like a constant struggle that many silent decks have.
Yeah, and one of my strategies doesn't work anymore, I think, or doesn't work as well, which near the end of my silent playing, I was like, oh, this is just broken. You just fill up on attacks in Zone 1, and then you get a Wraith form from the Zone 2 boss. And you just win the game.
Yeah, Wraith form's been nerfed. Yeah. And... Well, I mean, it does still work. You just have to you have to commit more to it. Sort of like how all the other strategies need a bit more. You need to get like 2 Wraith forms, or Wraith form plus Apparitions, or Wraith form plus Nightmare plus Well-Laid Plans or something, and it can still happen. I've had... I mean, it was like a meme in my channel for a while. Have you had any silent wins without Wraith form? Or Intangible?
Right, and it was, but it's not because you couldn't win, it's just because the game, like, just speaking from experience, the game just keeps offering you this card that says, hey, every elite in Zone 2 is free.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I think I'll take that. Oh, and I can also save it in case I have to fight Champ for the execute turn with this uncommon card? Okay.
Was it uncommon?
No, Well-Laid Plans is uncommon.
Oh, that's... Yeah. I see what you're saying. This fight is hopefully a win. 39's a pretty good split with Fumes.
Yeah, how did we get... Did we have a good glass... Was it Glass Knife or Flechettes that gave us the good split? Our deck's like...
That was Glass Knife.
Excellent at fighting the slime boss. It has high damage attacks and Fumes. If we could just fight the slime boss for every fight for the rest of the game, I think we'd win.
Well, the easiest way to fight Slime Boss for every fight for the rest of the game is to die here.
It's a paradox. How can what I said and what you said be true? So...
I think I like just minimizing damage here. Go for the neutralize on the big slime, the green slime splitting from Fumes.
Yeah.
It's a 19 split, which sucks, but...
You do have Fumes ticking anyways.
And we have Intangible Potion if something goes really wrong.
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't been really paying attention, but it seems like we hit we got to bottle our Fumes, which is really good, and we have Preserved Insect now for a deck that really wants Zone 2 elites. So
Yes.
That went well. And we have an intangible potion, which is really good against elites as well. Be nice to save it. Just checking in. Is all the audio stuff good now that I...
Yeah, it sounds fine. Does anybody in chat have any... I turned myself down a little bit. I'm not sure if I should turn myself down more, because you were still a little bit quieter than me.
Okay. Ooh. So let me ask you, do you think making Malaise a rare or an uncommon was a buff or a nerf to Silent? Because I thought it might have been a buff to Silent because you're more likely to get a rare card you want to take now.
I think it was a nerf. I think you see fewer of them overall, right?
Yeah.
It's weird, because you do see... There are reward screens where rares are the only thing you see. And there are also... Like, rares are almost as common as uncommons in elite fights, I believe. And there are fewer rares, I believe. So you don't necessarily see fewer rares than uncommons in a run. Maybe if you count stores as well, you do. But in my experience, I see fewer Malaises now.
Gotcha. All right, this is great. So I don't know. On A15, I thought it really was as high of a win rate pick relic as any of the energy relics. Is it still on A20, or is it not cutting it anymore?
It's just pretty tough. Like, we can get through Act 2 with it, and then if we get an energy relic in Act 3, we can be okay. But, like, giant head fight, for example, a lot of the decks that I end up building, they want to be playing at least 4 energy worth of blocks every turn to win that fight. It's a little bit rough, but in this stack it's not that bad. We can turn our 3 strikes into something else. Our Flechette suddenly turns on.
Yeah.
We do have a Piercing Whale, which leverages some block. We have a Noxious Fumes, which does some pretty good things for us at very good efficiency.
Yeah, we're like... Yeah, our deck is definitely very far away from beating the Zone 2 boss, but we got a zone to try and get there, I think.
Got a Nightmare plus, 1000 Cuts plus, and an Acrobatics plus. Other than the Acrobatics, those cards are pretty good. They'll be a lot better with 4 energy.
Right, and so I wonder now, do we just try and avoid elites in Zone 2? Or like go 1 elite with our block potion? Because I just feel like if we get to 4 in the deck and we get to a zone 3 boss, at least in A15 we could just win. I don't know. Like, Nightmare plus Malaise is just very, very strong.
I think we're pretty good against elites though. We've got Piercing Whale, 1000 Cuts, Malaise, Fumes, Flechettes. What is the point of dodging elites, I guess is the question. Like, we have this act. We're not actually that good at hallway fights.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
If we're gonna be spending our health on something, I don't see much reason not to be taking relics. Like, there's this path here, just like events, elites, for the entire act, basically.
Yeah, that looks good. We do have the... So the point of what I was saying was basically, if we're not good at fighting elites, we should avoid them. If you think this 3 energy deck is good at doing it, then yeah, let's just take that path. Let's go.
I've always sort of thought that Act 2 elites were not really much harder than Act 2 hallway fights. It's just sort of always been how I felt about Act 2. They're not that difficult to target. The Act 2 elites. Malaise is incredible, and you don't need that much AoE for Gremlin Leader to be pretty easy, and you don't need that much single target damage for Slavers to be pretty easy. Like a Glass Knife, a Malaise, and a Piercing Whale, and a Noxious Fumes makes it so you win all of the fights pretty comfortably, I think.
Yeah, I think on 3 energy, it'd be, I mean, just if we're getting everything we want, we'd really like Piercing Whale to be a low energy, high efficacy block in these elites. I don't know. I definitely think I lost more runs to the pre-nerf Gremlin leader than I lost to hallway fights. But I would definitely agree with the sentiment that they're not so much tougher than the harder hallway fights in Zone 2. They definitely get a lot easier, like you said, when you put the effort into targeting them in your floor 1 picks.
This turn sort of sucks. So 17,
yeah, this is
19.
This is one of the fights that seems like it just got ridiculous. Thoughts on an energy potion here?
This ends up being alright, yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that the front one died. Yeah, that's fine.
We got just barely enough out of the 1,000 cuts.
Nice. Ooh. Can we afford an infinite blades in our deck? Yeah.
Like maybe. Infinite Blades is really good against the Act 1 elites. It's not that good against the Act 2 elites.
Yeah, definitely not. It is good with 1,000 cuts, and it is... Which boss are we up against?
Collector. It's very good against the Collector if we get there. Yeah, I think we can.
Okay.
And it hits so many of the strong relics and things that you're looking for in a silent run.
God, I would love it if this deck had like 2 more piercing whales in it. We'd just be coasting.
Yeah. I think this is the energy potion.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what I do after I play the energy potion. Like 1,000 cuts. Maybe just fumes, glass knife, defend, neutralize. Don't play the Malaise.
I was definitely thinking maybe it is correct to just play one of the damage powers. So you think?
Well, 1,000 cuts, flechettes, defend, neutralize, glass knife is pretty good too.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I think fumes might be a little too slow for this fight.
And I think we go after the front one with 7 health difference and some AoE coming in.
Sure.
Does that just kill it? Sure does.
Well, we knew that. Come on. We both calculated that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I calculated it by playing the turn and finding out, but that's sort of calculating it.
I calculated it by spending 1,400 hours developing intuition.
Yeah.
That told me to play 1,000 cuts. No, I'm just kidding.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Do we defend? Yeah. There you go. Wow, that was really... Our deck with an energy potion is very strong.
Yeah. I don't think Blur is good yet, but certainly would like it to be good someday.
I'd like to hit this store and potentially just buy another potion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't really like. We're in that. We haven't figured out how to defend anything yet. This is a really tough place to be a silent. We haven't seen a footwork, after image, a wraith form, and we're not doing damage fast enough.
I think taking Blur is okay. I think we take Blur and we just hit a footwork at the next store. Do you put bites in your deck for a third of your health and
absolutely not.
removing no strikes?
Hey, there you go. Well, so there's a concept there, just that like if we don't think we're winning, if we don't hit a footwork, then we should pick the cards that go well with footwork.
Yeah, absolutely. You play to your outs.
Right. So it looks like footwork dodge and roll over a potion, probably. Oh. All right.
Footwork seems straightforward. Man, the courier has won me so many runs.
That makes sense. Yeah, especially with the a20 making gold worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 apparitions with a Nightmare Plus in the deck.
Ooh. Huh. This is a real thing. So 5 apparitions, I think, would have been clear here.
Oh yes.
We do have.
Yes. I. Oh my god. I have never not taken 5 apparitions on any Ascension 20 run. There have been some decks which really do not want apparition very much, but like blocking 50 for 1 energy is a lot better than blocking 30 for 1 energy, and that's the difference between 15 and 20. Ascension 15 and 20.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah. Apparitions are whatever the opposite of inflation is. So yeah, I'm leaning towards. Well, obviously, if we didn't have the 2 footworks, it's a slam dunk. But now that we have them, I mean, we have a ton of powers we want to set up, and we have an acrobatics plus in the deck and a nightmare plus. So I'm leaning towards yes.
Yeah.
Which could mean the devs did a very good job at balancing this event.
I think they did. I think they did a pretty good job at least. Plus, we don't have to rest anymore. Now we can just upgrade our. I'm gonna say Malaise on 3 energy.
Yeah, I think I've lost a lot of runs to not being able to free Malaise.
Yep.
Just the 1 turn of weak can be so relevant. What do you think now, though, about skipping elites? I mean, I guess there's still the argument they're not much harder than Hall, so we're starting to get to the point where we can beat hard fights, assuming we don't whiff too hard on apparitions.
Well, yeah, I just don't think that they're harder than holy fights. That's all.
Fair enough. It's a bad turn.
Can nightmare flechettes.
Can we kill any of them this turn? Like, does the front one die? Or?
It does, yeah. It's exactly lethal on the front one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, it's not, because nightmare leaves our hand. Shit.
Oh, well, then we definitely shouldn't do that.
No, but we can go Flechette's footwork defend, and it's mediocre, but okay.
Yep.
What'd you do, Caitlin? Oh, okay. Caitlin is making bird arms at me.
Awesome. one of the perks of being in a relationship.
Apparition, footwork, blur, neutralize.
Yeah, so
these turns are always sort of difficult to work out because of the dazes.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we want to minimize. I mean, what's nice is we've got another.
You just cut out there.
I said, oh, okay, shoot. Well, what's nice is we have another apparition in the deck. I think I may have cut out because I just like covered my mouth with my hand, which is not advisable. Yeah, I mean, no matter what we're playing apparition. This is always the tough part in the fight where you're nearing the end of the deck and you're just like destroying yourself.
Yeah.
I want to get footwork in play if we can.
I think this is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think Malaise gets played. I don't think there's anything better than what we did.
Be nice if he doesn't attack next turn so we can cycle through the deck.
Yep.
Alright.
We got one of those apparitions off. It's unfortunate.
But the one apparition we got off literally saved like 25 health, so it's not too bad. Any thoughts of putting 1,000 cuts in play here and taking a few?
Taking 6? I don't think so.
Okay, we do have a glass knife. That's nice. We did get fumes in play. Okay, we're at the mercy. All right. I lost the streak that I cared about the most to this guy back when his RNG was absurd.
I have lost streaks, yeah, to the Chosen as well.
He killed me from full HP with having a paper crane. Because he just like 40'd me 3 turns in a row or something. I don't pity him now that he's in his weakened state. Cloak and Dagger, right?
Cloak and Dagger got worse because it's harder to get there, but we already put 1,000 cuts and 2 footworks in our deck this run, so.
Sure. So can we expand on that a little bit?
Why did Cloak and Dagger get worse? Because.
Well, no, we'll go on, but I get that part.
So like 1,000 cuts, it doesn't get there relevantly faster against the Act 3 bosses than not 1,000 cuts. Like, we don't win by playing 1,000 cuts and playing a bunch of cards and face tanking a bit. I said this earlier, right? It's one of those things where like this kills on turn 8 instead of turn 10 or whatever, but that's completely irrelevant. So the synergy package that Cloak and Dagger is building into is significantly less good at beating the end of the run than Dodge and Roll is. Dodge and Roll rather than trying to get your damage in under the attacks, dodge and roll just lets you actually outblock like pretty much forever against all of the bosses. And that's much more powerful. On Ascension 15, I thought Cloak and Dagger was better than dodge and roll, but on Ascension 20, I think dodge and roll is significantly better.
Cool. I had them rated about equally on A15. So, let's see. Okay, so is there any situation where we skip that Cloak and Dagger and or take the acrobatics over it? Is there any composition of a deck where you would do that, or was the
take
plan
acrobatics over Cloak and Dagger? Yeah, I would skip. I would skip Cloak and Dagger if my deck were like Corpse Explosion, Crippling Cloud with 2 footworks here, probably.
Okay.
The damage on the Cloak and Dagger just isn't really very relevant there, and the poison's getting there better.
Right. So the pick of the Cloak and Dagger is less to make our deck the zone 3 boss.
I might not actually skip it. It's
more it's just good now.
Well, yeah, in this deck it is relevantly good. Like this deck is going to make the 1,000 Cuts package win, because we already have the 1,000 Cuts in the Infinite Blades. Like that's what we're doing. That's our damage.
And we have the Flechettes, which I found that like when you have a deck that wants to do good with Flechettes, Cloak and Dagger goes up, because the one problem like decks that do like Flechette stuff have is in zone 3 killing low HP enemies. I guess the burn fight turned into the Reptomancer fight, but at least it used to be in that fight. Like a real way you could lose with a deck that could beat zone 3 bosses is not be able to kill low HP units really quickly.
Yeah.
So like having Cloak and Daggers to do that in a deck that's mostly focused on killing high HP stuff, that was useful. Ooh, can we? So I assume we just.
I think we have to fumes as well. Yeah, I think we do.
Any chance that we blow the Piercing Whale then? Fumes, Piercing Whale, Malaise? Or is that just not where we want to be?
It's probably fine. We have 2 apparitions. It's already at 127. I think that's fine. We sort of like taking 1 damage, but it's fine to not take any.
How are we taking 1 damage?
Yeah, I know. We'd have to take like 9, which is not something we're as excited about.
Right. Plus, we'll get plenty of turns to take at least 1 damage against this guy, I think. Infinite Blades Apparition Glass Knife, probably?
Yeah, I think so.
Get our card drawn. Let's put 4 wounds in our very thin deck. Oof.
Get Nightmare Apparition here.
Sounds good. Right? Is that where we've got fumes ticking? So are there any viable alternatives like footwork?
Footwork, Apparition Blur.
Does that get there?
Because that's a better Apparition again next turn.
It's a better play this turn.
Only by 1 health, right?
Oh yeah. Well, plus the blur for next turn. And the footwork's in play.
And we don't get a wound in our deck.
But we don't have 2 extra turns of Apparition.
And we take the Nightmare out of our deck with the Nightmare lines, so we get rid of the Nightmare, which is basically a curse.
Which is good. We're quickly concentrating towards all wounds, so...
We'll have Flechettes next turn. We might like Nightmare Apparition, then only play 2 Apparitions out of the 4 that we have. Yeah, because of the big Flechettes.
Oh yeah, plus that's true. It creates 3, right? So we're not even going to get to play them all.
Right.
And we don't get footwork in play, so I think probably it's not worth it.
Footwork, Apparition, Blur, then. That seems fine.
Do you agree? Because I mean, it's actually like could be a run determining.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's just get our second footwork in play, and then Poison Stab definitely has to get played this turn.
Poison Stab is more damage than Flechettes.
Yeah, with the poison already on it.
So, Footwork, Defend, Poison Stab?
Sure, it's the same as Apparition, right?
Yeah, or Footwork, Apparition, Poison Stab also works.
Oh, I think there was definitely a consideration to using Strength Bot this fight. I didn't even think of that.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, we seem to be okay this turn. I notice he doesn't have an X multiplier over his head right now. But Glass Knife to the rescue.
I mean, the Malaise sort of shuts that down anyway.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
If we didn't play Malaise on turn 1, this fight's more threatening. But he was only attacking for 24 there.
Are there any fights in the game that genuinely stress you out? Because, like, I guess I should just preface by saying which one does for me so you understand what I'm talking about. I found that I made a lot of mistakes in the Gremlin Leader fight because my body had a genuine stress response after dying so many times to it. That, you know, the part of your brain that takes over while you're, like, afraid to die. And I would just make really weird plays in that one fight. Is there any fight that, like, affects you emotionally or any part of this game?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I really like the Gremlin Leader fight. I mean, I enjoy the fights that kill me the most. I do not at all. The fights where I play irrationally are like the hallway fights in Act 3 when it's already obvious that my deck is strong enough to win the game. I just play very, very... I mean, I'll drop 10 health, but in my mind, I've already won the run and 10 health doesn't matter, so it's not even like making a mistake to drop the 10 health. It's just like making the fight go faster and be less boring.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deflect versus Piercing Whale is a relevant decision.
Yeah, and a very hard one. Deflect is gonna... Is Deflect going to scale better into the late game?
Yeah, definitely. Deflect is a very good card, actually, in Act 3. Yeah. Like, against
and
Giant Head, having a Deflect in our deck with 2 Footworks is, like, potentially saving us 30 health or something.
I think Deflect because it gives us out to Malaise, to Nightmare Deflect, which is it's a viable win condition.
Yes. Piercing Whale's like a little bit better against Collector.
Yeah, and it's probably a little better against this Elite, but I think they're pretty close, and just... There's also a world where we end up 3 energy in Zone 4.
Yep.
But I mean, that's probably the first decision we've made this run where I'd be surprised at all if we just chose the low EV play.
I think we just upgraded a card here, unfortunately. It's really fun to get Warp Tongs. Have you played the game with Warp Tongs in it?
No.
Do you know what this is?
No.
Warped Tongs is a relic which upgrades a random card in your hand at the start of every turn. But you get a pain in your deck.
Okay, I've seen you play with that card. Okay, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that targeting an upgrade at something that we want to upgrade is pretty relevantly good anyway. And I think
Footwork's upgraded though.
Yeah, it's hard to say what we want. Cloak and Dagger is an okay upgrade with 1,000 cuts.
What about Deflect upgrade even?
Oh, Deflect upgrades to 7 now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better. That's kind of ridiculous. did they think Deflect? Did they think Deflect was a defect card?
I don't know.
Giving it a 100% upgrade?
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I like upgrading Deflect.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes our Nightmare Deflect strategy stronger. Ooh. I think 1,000 cuts Piercing Whale is good enough. Or 1,000 cut, yeah. The alternative would be what? Fumes, Infinite Blades, Piercing Whale?
The alternative is probably Fumes, Flechettes. We want to make him summon next turn. We don't want him to buff next turn.
Oh.
Do we? Killing one of the ads is good here.
If we have... Well, I guess we like it. We like him getting really aggressive while we have 2 Apparitions left in the deck. Instead of buffing. But 1,000 Cuts is just the best card in this fight of all the cards in our deck. I think. 1,000 cuts flechettes is kind of off the table, unless we want to use our ghost in a jar.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Okay. Any thought to strength potting here? Just to open up a slot, or?
I don't think strength pot's relevant in this fight, and I think it's quite good against Collector. I mean, it's good in this fight, but I don't think we lose this fight.
So
1,000 cuts piercing whale. Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, we could lose this run if we fume this, and then like don't draw our apparition on the right turn, because they're just not. Doesn't kill them nearly as fast as 1,000 cuts. Yep. Good thing we have these apparitions in our deck.
Oh, he probably shields for more than you're used to.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a buff to him or not, but that makes fumes better and 1,000 cuts worse.
That does, yeah. Okay, well the flex plus is looking good here. No, that's a huge difference. Yeah, fumes would have seemingly been better. But we
was this 38? We can just full block.
Okay. By the way, I just want to say, I'm pretty sure I came up with that phrase, and I don't know how it became so mainstream.
Which phrase?
Full block. I don't know how that got from me to you.
Oh.
Because you didn't see...
I think multiple people have developed that technology independently
I don't
of
think
each
so,
other.
because I said it in the stream, and afterwards I watched. It's a really stupid thing to say. It was like uniquely stupid. I'm like, I gotta think of a better way to say that than how everyone says. Okay, nice. All right, that was big. All right, this fight's over.
Do we neutralize the front guy to save one?
Yeah. I mean, the neutralizer's gonna wear off before
Our apparitions are off. It's just the 4 damage to Gremlin Leader, but it also encourages summoning instead of buffing, which is sort of nice. I don't know if I want to take 4 or not. Actually, the extra apparitions are like irrelevant here.
Do you want to just go fumes defend?
Well, we're not getting attacked again almost ever, while the 2 more intangibles exist.
That
I think
makes
fumes,
a lot of
cloak,
sense.
and dagger is just better.
I agree, yeah. Because there's like a 50% chance that he... I don't actually know exactly. This fight
It's
can
way
be
less
kinda
than
weird.
50% chance that we get attacked next turn. It's like 30% chance or something. And we
But
have
if
a
we do,
ghost in a jar, which we may
Oh, the
use.
ghost in the jar. Okay. Yeah, that, I mean, the ghost in the jar is really obvious. 'Cause we
Oh,
could just
we
die.
did get attacked.
Can we kill him? Or do we have to... Or can we... It looks like we can just defend. We can kill one of them, right?
Yeah, so we take 3, which is fine.
Yeah. Not a bad fight. Ghost in a jar still intact, which is very good going into the boss fight.
Yep.
Are you planning to strength pot the boss fight? Is that what we've been saving it for?
Yeah. Ooh, Corpse Explosion's
Ooh.
probably good.
Yeah, it seems like something our deck needs, along with more energy. But
It's
yeah.
unfortunate that we can't get both of those at the same time. Hey, it's probably pretty good in this fight.
Yeah. One of the reasons I quit Slay the Spire was Corpse Explosion. I just think that it's just such a stupid card.
Yep, it's very, 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 very strong.
Just does damage. Yeah. Like watching somebody Corpse Explosion Donu and Deca just makes me want to play any other game. Beautiful. So yeah, this deck's cooking. The deflect is the one deflect in a deck like this does a lot of work. Seems to continue doing so.
Sort of awkward. I think like this.
Yeah.
I think I was meant to attack a different one. Oh well.
Whatever. I feel good about this fight. Get 1,000 cuts. Yeah, we even have an apparition left.
We have
I
2
think-
apparitions left. I don't think I do 1,000 cuts.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. This gives us we'll have 2 more turns of Apparition, and the middle one's just dead to fumes already.
And there's an Apparition in there.
We end up with a 1-on-1, I guess, at worst. And at best, they just die before Apparition runs out. So. I think this deck could have done okay without the Apparition. Just resting more instead of getting the footwork upgrades. So we definitely haven't been getting full value out of them.
They only cost us 8 health, though. We haven't rested since picking them up. It's a pretty good card for 8 health.
That's what I said. We would have probably missed the upgrades.
Yep.
But it's not like some of the runs before where you just like you went from an unwinnable deck to this. Ooh, Crippling Cloud. Can we afford that? I really like that card.
There's a Ghost in a Jar to pick up instead of our Strength Potion, too.
Yeah, that's not close in my mind.
It's a really good card.
I really like it. Crippling Cloud was one of... It usually took me a lot of time to... Crippling Cloud was like...
You're cutting out insane. A bunch again.
Oh, sorry. I think it is because I mumble a little bit. I'm just sort of a mumbly guy.
Turn your, like, threshold down on Discord if it's turned on at all. If it's, like, on auto right now, just turn it to manual and turn it down.
Okay.
Because you're not transmitting any noise at all. It's just cutting you off sometimes.
Yeah, that's a threshold thing. Okay.
So Cloak and Dagger upgrade or Crippling Cloud upgrade?
Crippling Cloud upgrade, not close. I think the upgrade on Crippling Cloud is just really significant.
Or Rest to get a 29 out of 33 is the other option.
With 2 Ghost in the Jars?
And 3 Apparitions and a Nightmare and 2 Footworks.
I think if you can make you can make the argument that the Rest will help us, I think it is more relevant. Like if you can make the argument that we'll save 1 Ghost in a Jar, then it's better to Rest here. But I don't know if you can make that argument.
I like the Cloak and Dagger upgrade more than the Crippling Cloud upgrade.
That's why.
You think I'm insane?
Yeah, I think I think it does less damage. But it gets played maybe more on 3 energy?
Yeah, it definitely gets played more. Well, Crippling Cloud exhausts when it gets played, so... Cloak and Dagger certainly gets played more in this fight.
Okay. I mean... It's not... In my mind, it's not close, but it's close to being close. So... I don't think it makes a way.
Okay. I don't know why you're cutting out a bunch now, but you are.
I don't know. I'm going to my settings. I just got distracted by the choice.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think so. My argument for it is that the in my mind, neither upgrade is going to matter in the boss fight, and the Crippling Cloud is going to be better in some of the zone 3 hallway fights where you have to fight 4 things at a time, and it's going to do like an additional like 50 damage to upgrade it. That's my thinking.
The most threatening Zone 3 hallway fight is Reptimancer, and I'm not sure that Crippling Cloud is better than Cloak and Dagger there, because you want to focus damage. Reptimancer is like focusing single target damage over and over again almost. If we get the AoE damage off, that's cool, but Reptimancer's adds are low enough health that often it's like you glass knife one, you throw 2 shivs at another sort of thing. And Crippling Cloud only applies 1 time, like you have to keep doing that over and over again.
Is there any better upgrade than Cloak and Dagger?
In the game or in our deck?
Alright, I turned it to manual sensitivity and it's really low.
Okay, I'll let you know if you cut out again.
Okay, let me know if this is better or not.
Sure. Crippling Cloud and Poison Stab are the only ones that I can imagine could come close. Or like maybe there's an argument that Blur Plus or Survivor Plus even that sort of does a different thing, right? It might be the case that our deck needs to get better at blocking and is fine at doing damage. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty real argument. I think people massively underrate like the numbers on the defend upgrades don't look very good usually. Like footwork is a very, very, very good defend upgrade, obviously, but I think it's really easy to underestimate how good an upgrade on Survivor can actually be if your deck needs a bit more defend. It's like an extra 6 block in a lot of fights, and in a lot of fights that's actually just saving you an extra 6 health, which is super relevant.
Right. Yeah, because the thing is, 3 defense is worth more than 3 attack, or 3 defense is worth more than 6 attack. And obviously it's less on a20, but yeah, I think I like a defensive upgrade, or even upgrading an Apparition. I think my thought was that a Cloak and Dagger upgrade doesn't do much, so Crippling Cloud, but if you think that a Crippling Cloud upgrade's not going to do much, then I feel like we should rest or upgrade something else.
Apparition upgrades sort of cute with Nightmare especially. Can we do a Survivor upgrade? I think a Survivor upgrade's really fun.
Yeah.
Survivor's not a bad Nightmare target if we upgrade it.
And one of the, I mean, that's always going to do something. And one of the things I did really early on playing this game was just, there was a time where I just like would take Shrugged-Off as Ironclad and always upgrade it. And just like having upgraded Shrugged-Offs is just very strong, I found. But it turned out to not be the strongest strategy to just do that. But this is both a good and bad first turn.
Yeah. We could have double Apparition Fumes.
I've never been so unhappy to draw both of my damage powers turn 1 in this fight. Might have to lean on the Ghost in the Jars a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's... Well... Do we pop one now then? It's 14 plus 21 is 35, and we can block 16 of it. No, we can block 18 of it, so we'd be going to like 3. I think we do this, and Corpse Explosion's just a really good card to be playing.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And also we draw an extra 3 this turn, which is nice.
It'd be really nice to hit Apparition, but we didn't. Apparition and Nightmare this turn. So what are we looking at Nightmare?
Probably don't have a good Nightmare this cycle through the deck.
Survivor, maybe?
Oh yeah, that can happen. This looks like Fléchettes there, Apparition, and Malaise on Collector as well. Take another 3.
Sure. Yeah, I don't... These turns are so complicated, it's going to be really tough for us to both play them.
Wait, Fléchette's Infinite Blades?
Oh yeah, I would definitely try and get any power in play at any time we can.
Means Malaise is only for 0, but that's okay.
What do you think our odds of dying here are? I came into the fight thinking 0, but it's starting to feel...
Man, you thought 0? The Collector is fucking scary.
Yeah, but we had in my mind we had 6 Apparitions in our deck and tons of AoE powers.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. Yes, it would have.
Well, Survivor blocks for 15 apparently, and we don't even have both of our footworks in play yet.
That's good. I think it was probably the right upgrade then. It definitely seems like a significantly better upgrade than Cloak and Dagger or Crippling Cloud.
Yeah. Baltar asked, wouldn't upgrading block be better than Survivor? I think the point there is that unless you're playing every card you draw because you just have so much energy and no card draw, you're going to choose to play the best cards in your hand, and the worst cards in your hand aren't getting played. So generally speaking, it's better to get 1 good card and 1 bad card with your upgrade than to get 2 okay cards with your upgrade. You want to make your better cards better, not make your worst cards okay. So I'm thinking we pay 3 health to play Corpse Explosion this turn.
Yeah. Yep, give him a little bit.
We're running out of weak next turn.
Got a Ghost in the Jar left.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, alright. And we, plenty of weak. That was a really good turn, actually.
I think often this fight comes down to how much attacking versus summoning happens on these final turns. So
we have to Ghost to live, right?
We can live on 1.
Oh, that's living on 1 is interesting.
I think it's correct.
Yeah, as do I. Ghost in a drawing for 10 seems stupid. Or I guess more relevantly, just giving away our Ghost in a Jar when we don't have to. Huh.
Cool. So we won the fight.
Yeah, he's dead. Great. All right. 1 HP, 1 Ghost Potion. It's a good spot. Now, Energy Relic, and I feel like we're... Ooh. Yes. Our deck needed that.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking every turn, like, if I had Grand Finale this turn, the turn would be so much better.
Slam it, baby. Slam the GF.
We can...
Interesting choices.
I mean, we can take Choker. I think this deck's good enough to win with Busted Crown at this point, though. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Sure.
You can talk about the relic choices if you like.
Okay.
Actually, Hovering Kite is an energy relic too, I guess. I'll be right back, though.
Alright, so I will begin my monologue on boss relics. Also, a big hi to everybody watching. I haven't been reading chat. It's just too much social processing for me to interact with Steve and try and interact with chat. But hey to everybody watching. I never said I was doing this in my Discord. I should do that. Oh yeah, but there's 3 boss relics. You have to choose one. You can't take all 3. Choker is viable. We didn't upgrade Cloak and Dagger. Choker is viable. Busted Crowd, they're all viable. So it's just measuring which downside is worse. And I really don't know. We don't really have the card draw to play with the Kite, unfortunately. So I think it quickly gets narrowed down to Crown and Choker, and I think I agree with Steve that our deck is just, we have the cards that win the game in our deck currently. We don't necessarily need more cards. We've got Double Footwork, Fume, Thousand Cuts, and then we've got Nightmare. Oh, it looks like somebody... List my top 10 favorite emotes in stream. Well, all 10 of them are Teehee Palo. So it's hard to do that. Yeah, so that's I mean, there's not much more to say about these boss relics. It's been a really interesting run. It would be really interesting to see what the run looked like if we didn't hit Double Footwork in the store. Especially with the triple apparitions, but I think we would just be dead right now. Let's see. Let me pull up Twitch chat. Hi, Electro. Hi. So which would I pick? Oh, I already said I think we're gonna go with the Busted Crown. Skip is always a viable option. Hey, Super Soldier. Hey, BWPS. Dow Cash is going in on the Kite. Yeah. Hey, Zuzu. Hey, Dolphin Chemist. Hey, the Munchdown. Steve back. Heard something. Yeah, that's a Steve. top 1 common relics is the boot. Thank you for that, Super Soldier.
What do you think?
I agree with your assessment. I think we're in it for crown. But I mean, I guess very quickly it's worth talking about the possibility of taking Choker.
Yeah, Choker's fine.
How do you spell George? JoanRibs.television? I'm trying to link to this channel.
JOINRBS dot
Okay.
TUVALU.
I lost you at the end there.
All right. Well, you can rewatch the VOD if you ever find the channel, and you'll hear it that way.
All right.
We get chokered on adrenaline turns, like every time, pretty much, because we have infinite
Yeah.
blades and a cloak and dagger.
I agree. There's no real card we need to add to the deck at this point. But it's always nice to flesh out the deck with some dodge and rolls and stuff.
The cards which are very good are dodge and roll, leg sweep, footwork, after image. We could use one more of those. Well laid plans is very, very, very good and isn't in this deck. Well laid plans would be probably the single most impactful card that we could see. Other than those guys, like, yeah, dodge and roll.
Dodge and roll, really.
Backflip as well. Backflip's very good here.
Yep. Yeah, that was sort of the first thing I figured out as Silent, was just like by the time you get to Zone 3, having a deck where all you do is add backflips, cloak and daggers, and dodge and rolls to it. Okay. I think if the best card we're looking for is Well Laid Plans, and that's a power, there's a good shot we see one in a store with the Courier. So that's even less of a downside.
Yeah, having Courier, like, unless we get an Infinite Blades or Accuracy store, we're probably getting some more powers which push us over the edge. And we have Malaise already for a weakened one.
Right. The only way we're not getting more powers is if we're actually getting something stronger.
Or if every store has Accuracy.
Or if we die. Shapes.
This deck's fine against Stone deck. It can pretty much just outblock them. I think we beat all the Act 3 elites pretty comfortably.
Is there any way to get multiple stores and just look for the commons we're trying to get?
Yeah, we can go this way.
Be nice.
That's what I'm looking at. Unless the first store is very solid. If we spend everything at the first store, I guess we don't bother going to another one.
Yeah. Unless we're, like, about to die.
Is there any reason that Infinite Blades would be better than... I don't think so.
I just messed up everything. Okay. There we go. Alright, I'm back.
Hello!
Sorry. Technology is just sometimes odd.
Did I play Apparition that turn? That's an interesting decision.
So let me ask you, is there anything at this point in the run... So if this was an A15 run, this is time to tune out. We won the game. Is there anything you're thinking about right now? Is there anything left to care about?
We can still die at Ascension 20, but there isn't that much to do about it.
Right.
That's the difference between Ascension 20 and Ascension 15, I think. But no, I'm still largely tuning out of the run.
Cool. Do you where do you go to when you're tuning out? Where does your mind go?
I usually hang out with Twitch chat, click on the cards. I spend a lot of time thinking about what the boss fights look like, I guess.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea if we can do this or not. I think it counts as an elite room, so they are at 2/3 health.
That's huge in this fight. That's probably...
Yeah. Let's find out if it's true or not.
Sure.
Oh, it's not true.
But we do have 4 energy now, so that's a thing.
Yeah, that's great.
So do you think that we needed to do this? Like, I was gonna ask you, do we really need a rare relic? At 24 HP?
Our chance of winning the run goes up from doing this.
Alright, sure. Then let's
I mean, not if we die. Yeah, but
no, but
if we don't die, our chance goes up.
Well,
our chance is not currently 100.
But let me ask you, do you think our chance to win the run went up when you clicked yes? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I do.
So then we'll lose or die here, but we picked the right choice.
Nightmaring Cloak and Dagger is sort of okay.
Ooh. What about Nightmare Malaise? Is that a thing?
I think they buff themselves too fast.
Yeah. Okay.
We want to get through our deck somehow.
What did we not get to play turn 1? There was something we didn't get to play. Just damage cards, right? We got our powers in. Okay.
Yeah, just damage. It's a pretty bad start though.
Nope. Yeah, 1,000 cuts. Well, Fume's turn 1 is never that bad of a start, but and 1,000 cuts on the adrenaline turn is great as well. So this is a situation where I'd really like the Crippling Cloud upgrade, I think. But yeah, does it get played?
This is a Ghost in a Jar turn, I think. Because we have to Corpse Explosion, I think.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. So, Crippling Cloud not mattering 1. Or are we dead if we don't Ghost in a Jar?
41 versus... Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunate we didn't get a blur this turn.
It's unfortunate that they have full health. It's like... pretty frustrating, actually.
Alright, well, luckily we hit an Apparition on the double burn turn. So.
We need Glass Knife. Hey, it's a nice
All
Glass
right.
Knife. I don't know, maybe with them having full health, saying yes actually lowered our chance to win the run.
I was gonna investigate a little further, because it felt like our chance to lose that fight was at least 20%.
Yeah. I did not think that they had full health.
Ooh, things are getting good this run. I see a bag of prep.
Yeah, I do too. There's also a Chemical X, and we have a Malaise in our deck.
Ooh.
I think Chemical X is super, super strong.
Better than...
Yes.
Can we buy both, actually? No. Yeah, no. Alright, so Chemical X and save for a power at the next store.
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
I think non-alcoholic. Sorry, I'm giving Caitlin my store order right now.
Oh, okay. What are you getting non-alcoholic?
It's up to her. Usually I get like root beer or vanilla cream soda. Or...
okay,
cool. We have a bottled fumes that speaks for 1 of our energy on turn 1 already. I guess Bag of Prep gives us more chance to Nightmare something on turn 1, but it's not like we have. It's not like we have Anchor. In fact, turn 1's like probably the hardest turn for us to block because we don't have Footworks in play yet.
Yeah, I mean,
it increases our chance of drawing Apparition turn 1.
I always liked Bag of Prep on Silent because I always felt like with most Silent decks, all you were trying to do is get through your deck the first time as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely true.
And then just play defense. But I'm totally open to learning about why Chemical X is better. So like if Chemical X wasn't in the store, I'd just slam the Bag of Prep. But if Chemical X is stronger than Bag of Prep, then we should definitely do it. We also have a Centennial Puzzle, which is worth noting.
Yeah, we do. And we have an Acrobatics, and we have a Backflip. And we have Intangible, so our Centennial Puzzle goes off a lot.
The thing is, it's hard to convince me that card draw has diminishing returns, but it does, I guess. Yeah, it definitely does. You can only play 4 cards a turn, or whatever.
Although we have a Flechette's Plus, so...
It's also something that can come up if we draw too many cards, is that we end up with a hand that has powers and apparitions, and we just don't play the apparitions.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think card remove is worth it for 100. We just go to another store.
Oh yeah, especially when we can just remove it the next store.
Did you see that we got a dead branch?
Yeah, I guess I didn't mention it because I was in the middle of the sentence, and I really value the things I say. But that's awesome. I didn't even think of that in the store. How are we exploiting that? Was there something we could have gotten?
I don't know. I sort of forgot that we had it.
I forgot we had a dead branch too. Yeah.
This turn's terrible.
Oops. We're alive. This is an apparition run, so you can't just die out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially in this fight.
Yeah. Crippling Cloud was very good there.
Yeah. Okay, we got at least one apparition for next turn. Our deck got significantly better. I want to play the shift first, or no, I guess not. Ooh.
Before 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, no, it's weird. I was just thinking about, oh wow, we're going off as one with Dead Branch tends to do. Yeah, I was just thinking about Dead Branch. I like the way you played it better. Alright. Can we rest? Is that on the table?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I definitely don't feel like we need to fight. We need any more relics to win the game with Dead Branch. Like, but do you think the same logic in Zone 2 comes in, that the Act 3 elites aren't much harder than the hallway fights?
The elites include Transient and the new Tangela thing.
Those are elite fights or normal fights?
Normal fights. Did
Those
I say
are hard
elites?
fights.
Those are hallway fights.
You just said fights.
Okay.
Ooh. That seems good in our deck.
Our attacks are Flechettes. It's awkward that we play this before Flechettes. Glass Knife, Poison Stab, Neutralize. Yeah, it seems quite good in our deck.
Yeah. Also makes me feel better about not buying the bag of prep. Third footwork?
And Deflect, can we buy both? 129. We can't buy both. Do you
Is
think...
there an argument to go on?
Yeah. We have a Dex Potion. We have 2 footworks. I think Deflect might be better than unupgraded footwork.
Yeah. I'm totally on board.
Did I do the math wrong? Oh, I did the math wrong. We can actually buy both. But Dodge and Roll is also better than unupgraded footwork. Dodge and Roll is not close. That's a lot better than unupgraded footwork there.
Would you have bought a Panacea if there was one in the store with our speed potion? And our Dead Branch?
Probably not over the cards that I bought, but over like skipping.
Gotcha.
See, I look at... I don't know. Do you think 2 elite fights is actually... Like 2 elite fights in 1 hallway in an event? Is that actually harder than 3 hallways in an elite?
That's
This
really
is
a
one
question
more
I
fight.
Can't even come close to trying to answer without having played a20. I don't know.
Well, we can definitely lose in any of the fights in 1 turn with what our deck is.
Yeah.
So we'll just try not to.
Okay. New strategy.
Not getting Infinite Blades into play here is really bad.
I would rather play it than Fumes, right? But you're thinking...
Oh yeah. But I think, like, we want 1,000 cuts. Well, like, we have Dead Branch, that's why it's so bad not to get Infinite Blades in play.
It's even worse, yeah. Is there a situation where we're taking damage that isn't lethal? I guess.
I think we're happy to take 6 here, because not
I think so,
only do we get to play Infinite Blades, but we also draw 3 cards.
Yeah. And then we're going to draw an Apparition, and then hopefully we'll power through the hard. We really want to increase the odds of hitting Apparition here. God, this Adrenaline is so good in this deck.
Oh, did we take Impatience after getting Dead Branch? That's not very sensible.
Was that not smart? Well, can we play it at the start of a turn? Most of the time?
Most of the time, yeah, I guess. I think it's just like Apparition, footwork. I don't think we Corpse Explode.
Okay.
Still got a pretty hefty draw pile.
What are you thinking about?
Like, instead of Corpse Exploding?
Oh, because there's just more turns. So we just go... You need to get the footwork in play.
I'm pretty sure that was what I was thinking about. I don't remember what I was thinking about exactly. The Corpse Explosion doesn't deal that much damage, really.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's only dealing like 10 to the... They'll die anyways to incidental damage, almost always.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, Chemical X. We're going off.
We got like Poison Stab Catalyst, I think, actually.
Yeah. We're gonna run out of Apparitions.
There you go.
Later. Masterful. What are the odds we get to Grand Finale with this deck? That'd be nice.
I think 100% or so. Would have been higher if we didn't take Adrenaline. Ooh. Oh yes. Yes, I think so. Makes us more likely to die turn 1.
That's what I was gonna say. There's still the argument that our turn 1 sucks. I'm actually leaning towards
It's not
Dead Branch.
that good against Time Eater or Awakened One. It's good against Onudeka, I think, and we have Chemical X Malaise, so that might be the only fight that we care that much about. I don't know.
It would be so much better if it wasn't upgraded, actually.
Yeah, I think it would.
It's close. I don't think I was leaning towards whatever.
We have to play this fight and we actually have to think. God, fuck.
Oh no. Oh no. The Zone 3 respite has come to an end.
Do you know how this fight works?
Yeah, you attack him. I personally, I think one of the cool... Oh! Can we get curses in our deck for 6 HP? Do you want to do that?
We can get 1. He'll only give you 1. But it actually is good, I think, to have 1. Especially with Centennial Puzzle and Blue Candle, that's actively good.
And Dead Branch. Yeah.
It's like actively very good.
So this fight is you try and manipulate him to give you curses, right?
All right.
That's... I've seen a little bit.
No,
I think it's cool.
I made him attack us for 30.
Did we just die?
No, we didn't die. We took some damage though. It might be a speed potion this turn.
Okay. This is definitely one of the harder fights where we were planning to potentially use resources anyways, right? It was on the list of hard normal fights that you gave me. Multi-hit attacks seem very scary in this fight. We could Flechette's last for more control. I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it's the same amount of control either way.
Ooh, curse. Thank you. He can only give us one?
Yeah, he only gives us one.
It's a bummer. We could just sit here and farm curses.
I know. And we have an innate noxious fume, so that would actually just be winning. Because we got like 100,000 of them.
This is the one infinite that Mega Crit decided they didn't want to allow. The forcing curses into your deck. Too bad.
I think it was available on day one and then got removed.
Probably because people didn't like getting lots of curses put in their deck. Like,
oh, you think so?
yeah.
It's a very negative take on it.
What do you?
Oh shit, we like actually take damage here. Whoops. Sometimes I forget Apparition doesn't actually make you invincible. That's actually pretty relevant.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Why?
We're not gonna get to full health again before the bosses.
But it's just 3 damage, right?
Yeah, but it's irrelevant 3 damage.
Okay. Yeah. Just making sure I wasn't missing something larger. Cool. This fight went, besides the 3 damage, as well as it could have. We got 6 max HP and some spaghetti.
And we have a Caltrops in play for some reason.
That is weird. So, oh, I guess this is another. Is this another hard fight that we have to focus on?
Sort of? I mean, I don't know. If I just Malaise for 5 here, I think our deck probably outblocks.
Cool. Wait, why is it 5? Is it +2? They buffed it?
Chemical X?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chemical X is
Ooh.
+2.
That's a sick buff. It was +1 at first, right?
I don't...
Was it
I
always
think it was
+2?
always +2.
That's sick.
I think. So Unload has good impatience
Nice.
interactions there.
Very nice.
Actually, he's not attacking us for real yet. We just want to do that. I should have played the Blur, but...
Okay. See what Parasite gives us.
Do you think we exhaust it now? I think we hold it and exhaust it the next time we draw it.
Oh, because of Centennial Puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So this is one of those decks where there's a lot of interactions you have to pay attention to.
I think Nightmare on Deflect is okay.
Oh yeah, especially in this fight. It's very strong. Still haven't... We never found the well-laid plans we wanted.
No, we didn't. It's okay though, we have Infinite Blades, Dead Branch, that's sort of like having a well-laid plans.
Yeah. We've got all the other broken things going on. This deck got very strong. I think it was very strong before. I think it just got very strong once we picked up 4 energy. I think it was already very strong in Zone 2, we just didn't have enough energy. And then Dead Branch is just kind of like... obviously very strong. Oh hey, we have 61 block.
And an Apparition, I think. Blur?
Yeah, you're going for the blur out?
Calipers?
Dead Branch into Calipers. Or if we just kill the head so quickly, we get Calipers and just sneak out of here with 100 block for the next fight. So I had a question for you about the Ironclad run, which is, can you still get feed with Nilry's Codex, or did they remove that from the game?
You can no longer get feed from Nilry's Codex. You can't get feed, you can't get Reaper. If you have Exhume though, you can get or if you have one of them already, you can get Exhume.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably for the best.
I would say that that is a considerable improvement to my quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when Defect first came out, and it was just like, do you want to win and spend 30 minutes with creative AI every fight? Or do you value your mental sanity? What was weird about that, though, was whenever I did it, I would always neurotically check my viewer list, and for some reason, nothing had a more positive effect on my viewer list than doing that, stalling out with creative AI. I'll never understand it, but that's what people want to watch.
Hey, you gotta give people what they want to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if Wraith Farm is worth having here or not.
Yeah, we do have a Nightmare in the deck. We don't have a Well-Laid Plant in the deck. We do have 3 Apparition in the deck.
We reach a point where we are intangible by nature of our backflips and deflects, like, fairly rapidly.
Wraith Farm doesn't give us the utility to play it before we're set up, so I think Skip makes sense.
Oh no. Oh, come on. Actually, I guess a curse is alright. Just don't
I want
shiv
that
me.
curse. Give me a curse. Damn. No curse.
Well,
I would have preferred a curse.
yeah.
This is what it takes to make a curse, though. Darkstone, Parry Out, Dead Branch, Blue Candle.
Turn 1 Nightmare Footwork.
Ooh. It's that or Nightmare Apparition. If we can get away with a Nightmare Footwork, that has to be better, since our...
We can definitely get away with it.
Alright, sweet.
We don't get Fumes in play, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it seems like the end of the fight. Unless they've gotten more buffed than I know. It seems.
They scale pretty fast.
Okay.
Oh, we have bronze scales. That's why we have caltrops. Yeah, I suspect that the bronze scales that we have is going to be enough, though.
Well, then they haven't been buffed that much.
With this much dexterity. I don't know. I never understood why people thought this fight was hard.
That's interesting. I have a theory that you got to Zone 3 with stronger dex than I did, because I never understood you not dying in Zone 3 at all. So I think I ended up getting to Zone 3 more frequently, but with weaker dex and dying more.
That seems super possible.
Yeah. And it makes sense, since one of us, like, said the phrase, should we skip elites, like, 10 times? And the other one said, what? You could predict that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's
hard to play 1000 cuts, too. I guess we just don't. I guess we just, like, play Poison Stab.
Sure.
It's fine. We have Corpse Explosion in the deck, so we just have to kill Deca.
Great.
Try to be less enthusiastic, please.
It's just, like I said, it pains me more than anything, just playing Corpse Explosion in this fight. I actually, again, it might be a weird thing about me getting to Zone 3 bosses with a weaker on average deck, but I ended up dying the majority of the time in this fight in a race with Deca, with Donu already dead. So
I don't think we actually get to Corpse Explosion this turn, though.
This is one of the ways you can lose this fight, is you, like, constantly can't play the key card on each turn.
I mean, we can take 2 in Corpse Explosion. I don't think we have to take 2 this fight, though.
I don't think we have to either. This isn't the run where we lose because of that. I lost one of my big streak silent runs because I just was on 3 energy and couldn't play footworks when I do them.
Donations directly to me, I will forward on to the charity Connect site, yeah. I know that the charity page doesn't accept PayPal. I think it will accept a debit card if you have one. There's no great way to do it without getting hit twice by the transaction fee, unfortunately.
Save those dazes for later. It's nice. Oh, that was... What's even better?
We take a damage though if we play 1,000 cuts.
Ooh. Oh, you're actually preserving the. You've preserved the. Oh. Well, you could have neutralized down here, but.
Oh, I could have. Well, we
But
lose
this is-
4 damage on Deca then.
And it's.
Equally concerning.
I also think it's arguable that Infinite Blades is actually just better than 1,000 cuts here.
Yeah, I think it is. With that branch. And us not needing to deal any damage to Deca ever.
Cool. So, of the 2 bosses, do either of them give us trouble?
We have Malaise, which helps us a
Somehow.
lot.
Yeah. It's weird to me that they still haven't given. They still haven't given the power guy a way to gain strength after you debuff him.
Awakened one was at 1 more strength gained per thing you played for a bit and then got nerfed. I don't.
Again?
Got nerfed down to 2 strength per power.
Oh, are you talking about way back when it was a monster? Or are you talking
Awakened
about...
one? Awakened one, like the boss we're gonna fight next.
Yeah. Did it recently get nerfed again, or are you just talking about that one nerf?
So at the start of Ascension 20, it was at 3 strength per power gains. And then pretty soon afterward, it got nerfed down to 2.
Do you think that was a good nerf?
No, not at all. Not even.
I knew what your answer was going to be.
Not yeah, not even like in the world of good nerfs.
Just want to debate you into that one.
Not even close. Gremlin
Alright.
Horn goes off too. So
Sweet.
you find it upsetting that I can just deal 530 to Donu there, but you have no problem with Gremlin Horn drawing me a card and giving me an energy. That seems super inconsistent.
That's one of the questions that cuts to the core. And I don't have a good answer for you. Just have to reflect on it later, I think.
I think we played Blades against Time Eater with that branch.
Okay. I think a lot of decks end up playing Blades against Time Eater. It's honestly, it's never been a bad thing to play a lot of cards against Time Eater.
No,
It's
it
just always been a bad thing to not be able to play 12 or not be able to play 6.
You see that Masterful Stab is good now?
Yeah, it looks good. Wait, no, actually, you can play it. Why can you play it? What does it do?
Costs 1 additional energy every time. It's like a backstab. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? It's like a backstab now,
Oh, wow.
except slightly different.
I mean, the card did need to change, but I actually liked it the way it was.
I don't
But
think it needed to change.
It was just it's one of my favorite cards. There was a short period where you were trying to make it work, and then I, like, a month later went through a short phase of trying to make it work. I think it's just something a Slay the Spire player has to go through.
Well, Twitch Chat drafted like 4 of them in the same deck, and then we won Ascension 15, so it was clear to me. It was clear to me that it was strong. How else could that have happened?
To quote you, it is a dash level power card.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Sometimes I get carried away.
So... No, but I really did. I mean, it's definitely one of those cards that you look at and you really have to play with it and make sure it's not good, because it has potential to be really good.
Make sure it's not good.
Like, it looks like it could be really good.
There hasn't been a reason to drink the deck spot yet. If there's ever a reason to drink the deck spot, I will consider drinking the deck spot. Otherwise, I'm going to discard it at the end of the fight to upset you. I'm talking to Twitch chat.
You played a strength pot yesterday in a fight where you didn't need us to play a strength pot in a boss fight.
Well, I'm ashamed.
You really missed out. You really missed out on tilting chat. It's a bummer that we didn't get Terror. I was planning to have a conversation with you about Terror because I think it's the card we evaluate the most differently. But robbed of that.
We can have a conversation about Terror. What do you think? What do you think about Terror?
I pick it in Act 1 a lot more than you do to kill Lagavulin and his Zone 1 boss. I think it scales. I think it isn't as bad in the late game, and I think it enables a couple archetypes that you get every like 1 in 20 runs. I guess
the only thing upsetting about that was that you said archetypes.
I mean, when you've played enough runs, they start like there is the run where all of your damage is physical. Maybe not an archetype, but it comes up.
Yeah.
I guess
it's a thing.
My question is just like why do you think the two energy card that doubles your damage next turn is good, but infinite but Terror's bad?
I don't think Phantasmal Killer is good.
Oh, okay.
I only put that in my deck if I have like very specific stuff going on.
Fair enough. And you would put Terror into
swear the clock just ticked up twice. Am I going crazy?
I think
yeah, I would take Terror in the same spots that I took Phantasmal Killer pretty much always.
Okay, fair enough. So the only difference is I take it a little bit more early on. Whereas it sounds like you're taking it reflexively more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so this was a good fight.
We didn't quite win yet. Time Eater's like sort of a brute.
And we're only at 7 decks. Last time we had like 12. Just bad, Did we Nightmare? He's at 0 strength. Did we Nightmare Malaise this fight?
No, we just played it with Chemical X.
Gotcha.
There's a footwork.
He's busy talking about error. So what do you think our win rate's like 98% or something?
I have no idea because I'm not paying attention to what's in the deck. Those cards look pretty bad though.
They do actually. Are we dead?
No. We have a blur in hand.
Okay.
Can we play 6 cards this turn? 1, 2, 3. Maybe? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we got there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't get Corpse Explosion? That seems okay.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good thing we had that blur.
Look at how much he blocks for it, too.
He is a brute. The hall's a high school.
This is our hand next turn.
Well, it was a good run. It was a good run.
We have Phantasmal Killer though. We're fine.
We can kill him, right? Or is that the plan?
I don't think we're going to kill him by then. No.
So we're dead.
We might not get attacked. We might Dead Branch into something that blocks.
Okay.
We could be like playing Piercing Wail here instead of Deflect, I guess. It's probably a good idea.
Trying to blur or something.
Yeah. We missed.
That was a good idea.
I don't think we play like Slimed instead of Poison Stab though. No, because the 0 cost stuff doesn't do it. Well, Well-Laid Plans would have done it.
Yeah. Oh, Well-Laid Plans.
Oh, it's only 10 times 3. We're completely fine.
Are we?
Yeah, we got After Image.
Oh, okay. Alright, that was not a good turn. Do you want to slime and look for defensive stuff? Just to try and preserve life? Oh, nice. Do we kill him? I think so.
We're not weak. We can end the turn at 11 here pretty easily. Is that okay? This doesn't work.
Bad thing, right?
So our damage is choke, bane, glass knife, which is 24, 44, plus another 24 is 68. So he's at 50. Taking 21 plus 9, 30 plus... Yeah, that kills.
Okay.
I feel like I under-calculated something there.
Oh, it worked. Good run.
Yeah.
I'd give you a high five, but it's pretty hard to.
The double Ascension 20 boss at the end of runs makes the game a lot better.
What do you like about it?
You can like actually lose in Act 3. You have to play the entire run.
Yeah, it was tough. We almost lost. And that was up to that point a perfect fight, right? I think so.